Hello, in this video you and I are going to change the oil in a marine diesel engine. This is a really easy job, but it really prolongs the life of your engine, so it's a very worthwhile skill to learn. You don't need to pay somebody to do this, you can easily do it yourself, and here's how. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Chris. I'm 1/3 of sailing Britaly, along with my Italian wife Rossella and our Britalian baby Emma, who's 7 months old. We're currently living on board this boat while we refit her, so if you hear baby noises in the background, that's why. So what tools and equipment do you need to change the oil on your boat? Almost nothing. You'll need your oil. You can find out the capacity of your engine so you know how much oil to buy and the grade of oil that you need online quite easily, and then go and buy your oil. Then you need a very small, very simple, very cheap hand pump like this. These are about $20. You can buy them on Amazon or eBay and you'll find links in the description below. Really simple. It's tiny, so it's very easy to stow on a boat. You see very large and complicated versions of this, but at the end of the day you don't need them. This is hand operated. It pretty much is impossible to break, and it takes up no room on your boat, so this, in my mind, is the best pump available to do this job. You also need some empty containers to collect the old oil, and I'm just going to use empty water bottles. I need 3 of these because our engine takes 4.1 litres of oil. I also recommend that you change your oil filter every single time that you change the oil. They're only a few dollars and you may as well have the cleanest oil possible while you're doing this job. So let's get started. First of all, you need to run the engine until the oil gets nice and hot. The hotter it is, the less viscous it gets, and therefore the easier it is to pump it out. I've just completed a job on this engine and I've been running it at about 2000 RPM to test it. And when I completed that job, the oil was 55 degrees C. It's now dropped down to 44 degrees C, but that's fine, that will be nice and thin. All you need to do then is remove the oil dipstick, which on this boat is here. And when you've got this out, it's quite satisfying to do a comparison between the old oil and the new. So at this stage, if you get some tissue paper and just put the old oil on it, a drip of it, then you can compare that to the new oil later on in the job. Then you just get the thin tube that comes with the pump and you stick it down into the hole for the dipstick. It's quite easy to go too far down, so you can also roughly estimate the distance between the top of the dipstick holder and the bottom of the sump, and that's how far you want your tube to go down. Then you get your empty container, put the large hose into that, and then pump out your oil. I think you can see how easy this is. People who use the big massive versions of these pumps would probably say, oh, it's too hard to use those little pumps. It's not. Look, 2 fingers, that's all it takes. Okay, that's 2 litres already, so that is half the oil withdrawn in just very few seconds. So I'll now switch bottles. Okay, that's 4 litres, so we're nearly finished. Good idea to have plenty of tissue paper at hand to mop up the excess. We've got an old sleeping bag here that was on the boat when we bought it. This has already been earmarked for the bin, so we're using it just to mop up any drips. Okay, they're the dregs now. We're just sucking up the last few drops. You can at this point move the tube up and down inside the sump to get the low spot, and then you collect all the oil. Okay, that's that. There will be a few drips of oil left in the bottom of the sump, but that's going to get diluted with the 4 point something litres of oil that I'm going to add now, so that's negligible. Before I fit this oil filter, I'm just going to make a note of the date, and then that reminds me when I replace the oil. Now we need to get the old one off, which would be very, very simple if people fitted them at the correct torque, but usually you find that they're really very, very tight because people over tighten them. Let's see what this one's like. Yep, just like that. So if you've got a strap wrench, you can put a strap wrench around the filter and unscrew it. If you don't have a strap wrench, you can use a screwdriver and a hammer knock into it, and you can use that as a tool to unscrew it. There we go, that's started. Now oil will come out of this, so be prepared to catch that. Then you get your new oil filter, you lubricate the O-ring with some oil. It even tells you how much to tighten these on the oil filter. So it says tighten 3/4 of a turn after gasket contact base. We make sure this face here is clean too. You get the new filter, screw it into position. Okay, it's just starting to touch there, so we want 3/4 of a turn from here. So half a turn, this bit wants to end up just over there. That's it. So it doesn't need to be any tighter than that, and it won't leak despite it not being really, really tight. Then you remove the oil fill cap and add the correct amount of oil. In this case, just over 4 litres. I suggest that you add slightly less than the book amount of oil and then leave it a good 10 or 15 minutes to sit. Reinsert the dipstick, remove it, and then check your oil level. Okay, I'm happy with that oil level there. You don't want too much oil. If you do overfill it by accident, then you can use the same process we used to remove the dirty oil to remove the excess clean oil. And then you get the satisfying part here, which is where you put your new oil next to the old oil. There you go, before and after. Now just think how much happier your engine is going to be with that oil in there. Once you're happy with the oil level, I recommend that you run the engine and then turn it off, let it sit for 15-20 minutes and then check it again just to be doubly sure. So that's how to change the oil on your marine diesel engine. It's a really simple job, it doesn't cost a lot of money, but you will definitely prolong the life of your engine by doing this regularly. I do recommend that you wear barrier cream or gloves while you're doing this, and that will make cleaning up afterwards a lot easier. I hope you found this video useful. We make lots of different kinds of videos on our channel, from sailing vlogs to sailing tips to boat work, all kinds of things, so check out the rest of our videos before you leave, and if you like what you see, then click on that subscribe button. We also have a Patreon page, so if you want to help us make more videos, you can help us out with just $1 per month. Okay, thanks for watching, we'll see you soon. Ciao!
Ciao!